Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Bad mail.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you. Please. You're too kind. So, here we are at episode 500. That's just a lot of episodes. That's too many episodes. No one is going to watch all these episodes. I'll be like, hey, I got this comedy show thing. It's just observational comedy stuff. Kind of like a mini stand-up for each episode or something. And they'll be like, oh, that's neat, I could check that out. And they look, and it's like a playlist is like 500 videos. They're like, I don't think I have the time to even be interested in that. That's too much for me to even have a passing interest. Because what if I like an episode and I want to watch more, and then I get hooked, and then I gotta watch all of them, and who cares that they're free, and that they're of varying quality. They're of very, very varying quality. But, it's just too much commitment. It's like, then you're going to feel bad you don't watch more, and I don't know. It's like, which ones do you watch? There's not like a guide for this. I don't think there's a Reddit or a subreddit or a anything. I doubt it's I can't imagine there'd be any Wikipedia shit on it. There's nothing to go to be like, what are the essential episodes of What's the Deal with Sam? It's like like I fucking know either. So, good luck. But hey, we're here. Those of you who are here, you've probably been here for a while. I'm not going to assume that you all watched all the episodes, but a lot of you here have watched some of the episodes. If you're bothering to watch episode 500, that's cool. If you're just checking in for the milestones at this point, that's okay. Maybe this is your first episode. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, this probably means nothing to you as it's the first one you've seen. But what I'm going to do for this is something that is equally lazy to what I did. Maybe even lazier, actually. Even lazier than the 300th episode special. The 300th episode, whatever the fuck I called it. It was just me putting up the Sam Lilly Comedy Hour, which is basically what spun off into this show. I just lifted some jokes from there, some of that delivery and stuff, some of those bits, and it became the early part of the show. And it kind of went on from there. It went on its own path, and then it went off of those rails that it was on, and now it's here. And I wanted to upload something special. I want to do something cool for 500 episodes, and I never know what the hell to do because this show is so fucking weird. I've got this strange formula that doesn't fit anything particularly well. I want to do things that aren't really part of the formula. It sucks, and so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. We're just winging it once again, because that's what everybody has come to know about this mediocre content is that whatever, it shows up. It's not that great, but it always shows up, and it's gonna keep on showing up until my joke from the 300th one is true, and we're at 300 more, because apparently that might happen now. So be as afraid of it as I am. I've even gone as far as to bring out the old coat here, and I'm wearing the original shirt I wore for the first episode, which is was already small on me then, and it's a bit smaller now because the shirt shrunk. It's definitely not that I'm getting fatter, which means that it is, but it's funnier if I put it that way. But the jacket was already a little big, so it looks nice. This still looks nice. It's very slimming to make it. It makes it look like I'm smaller than I am. And hey, that's a very fit-looking tub over there. It's that tub must take a walk once or twice a year. So this is actually what I'm doing here is the Sam Lilly Comedy Hour 2, which is something I did as sort of a personal project to kind of follow up the first one. by myself, and it's much worse. The idea actually with it was I wanted to make it actually a full hour of comedy, just a lot of little bits and jokes and whatever. I didn't have it all recorded as me like standing around and doing stuff though, because I had it all planned out over different. It's an hour worth of comedy. I can't do an actual stand-up bit for that long. You probably would be insane. I wouldn't remember all my shit. Even for that small bit in the first comedy hour, it was like I had to look down at a piece of paper. But for this, what I did was I just kind of like kept hitting record on my camera and saying bits into it, and then I just kept doing that. And whenever I had ideas for funny jokes and whatever, and I just kept doing that and putting them together in one big video thing until I had the enough audio of jokes to fill like an hour. I think it's about pretty close to actually an hour. And then I also have a few little commercially things I threw in there, I think, at the beginning, just to also, like, I don't remember if there's any breaks in there or not. I haven't rewatched it yet. As of recording this little bit here, I have to re-listen to it, but I'm pretty sure it's just the opening part has commercials in it. And then it's, like, the rest of that, and then it, like, kind of ends. But just to kind of, emulate the same style of, like, the first one a little bit, where it starts with the commercials or whatever, and then it gets into the show. And so it's probably not as good. It's a lot longer, and it's one of those where if you're planning on doing this episode, you want to podcast it. You want to take this and do other shit. Go to a different tab. Go do whatever, and just listen to it. Half pay attention to it, and it'd probably be funnier that way. And then whatever. You can come back at the end, and I'll still be here. Because I took this off of my channel also is the other thing. It's like, it's not a thing you could get separately. It was only ever on my channel, unlike the first one. But I took it off. I guess I just didn't like it at one point. I deleted it. But thankfully I had it saved on a DVD, and I was like, I'll just do a weird thing, and had to kind of weirdly try to record it off of the player and whatever from that. So basically you're going to see the opening part, I think, still has a little bit of the media player thing on the front of it, because it didn't go away before the audio of the thing actually started. So whatever, it's all mostly audio shit anyways, so it doesn't really interrupt anything, but that's why that showed up there. Oops. But that's all I had for prefacing it, I guess, and it's already probably long for doing that. Maybe I'll timestamp it in the bottom, if I remember, in the description, to be like, hey, go here just to watch the actual thing. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And now I'll shut up until that's over, and then after you're done hearing me talk a whole bunch more, you'll come back and I'll be here again and say more things.
The Sam Lilly Comedy Hour 2 is sponsored by Veggie Voom, with the voom of veggies in every bite. Veggie Voom, now with the voom of 5 different veggies. Try the new broccoli flavor. Get the new all-purpose bathroom gel. Wanna brush your teeth? Bathroom gel. Need shampoo, conditioner, or soap? Bathroom gel. Is your shower dirty? Bathroom gel. Clogged toilet? Bathroom gel. Accidentally got poop on your hand? Bathroom gel. Cancer? Bathroom gel. It's super convenient, all-purpose, mega awesome, and affordably priced bathroom gel. Buy today. Fishy's brand fish. Fishing with fish. By fish. For fish. Cool Cola Nuttin'. Same cool taste, nuttin' extra at the waist.
It's a cool nuttin'.
Now presenting the Sam Lilly Comedy Hour 2! I was just walking down the street the other day, kind of in one of my more mystical moods I sometimes get in, just thinking about things, life and whatnot. And saw this guy walking towards me, and just because the question it was striking me at the time, I asked him, what's the key to happiness? And he said, jerk off. And even though he may have meant that as an insult, I took his advice to heart. I went home, jerked off. And you know what? He was right. It was great. Anytime I'm jerking off, I'm happy. I got a good joke for you. So, okay, these are two bars walk into a guy. Okay, here's an old one, but a good one. Okay, so why did the prehistoric chicken cross the road? It didn't, because there weren't even roads yet. What is a turd's best form of self-defense? Kung Fu. So, why are they called stop signs? Well, they don't go anywhere. And speaking of signs, I saw this sign the other day. It said, do not read. Felt like an asshole afterwards. You ever been to an outhouse? Pretty contradictory, isn't it? I don't know if I can say that I'm going in there or out there. But either way, it's really gross. I didn't think at the end of the joke. I'd like to get serious for a moment and mention the names of a few people who really made me who I am today. Unfortunately, they would not allow me to do it in this recording, so I guess I'll just have to keep being funny. Let me just ask the audience here. Hey, it's you, sir. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. What do you do for a living? Oh man, that job. That sucks. Audience, am I right? If I was that guy, I would shoot myself in myself with a gun. Thank you for participating in this, audience, as we shit on this one person who's acting like they enjoy it. And I'll go back to my job, which is being a fake stand-up comedian. Don't you just hate hearing those recordings of stand-up comics who are doing a bit and it relies just so much on the body motion and the facial expression that you can't really get the joke? They're out there and say something like, hey, I was doing this, and then I was doing this thing, and my face did this. And all you hear is the audience laughing. Fuck those people. I've never really been any good at knock-knock jokes. My impression of a door is just terrible. You ever ask someone, what time is it? And they cleverly reply, time to get a watch. Just makes you want to say it's fucking hammer time. That makes me say I wish I had time to write better jokes. Seems like people only really get really upset about things that don't really matter. Maybe there's some kind of election issues going on you're not happy with, or wars happening. There's the whole world hunger thing, and there's homelessness going on. But you just kind of live with that day to day. But something as simple as just been looking forward to having a candy bar all day. Just had that candy bar, and then you go home and you're like, okay, it's candy bar time, and you just can't get the fucking thing open. That's the kind of shit that'll fucking drive you crazy. Because it's so simple. You shouldn't have to work that hard for it. It's just a wrapper. It's not made of titanium. Just little things like that. When life takes away the simple things, the little bits of joy that you are looking forward to get you through, when it can't even supply that for you, really just kind of destroys everything. I mean, there'd be a lot less angry people in the world. You could just open up their fucking candy bars. You ever have that phrase, where, you were younger or something and you wanted to eat food, and there's a certain food that you didn't like, you didn't want to eat it. And I remember having to sit there and I was forced to eat some things before. I don't remember it a lot though. But there was always that kind of defense, that cliche parental defense thing that goes into motion that doesn't really bring logic into it. It just kind of wants to bring you sort of a bland threat. And what that is with this is there's a lot of times where they, don't want to eat food. A certain kind of food because it's gross or something. And there's that excuse, well, there are people starving in somewhere in the world, wherever. If it's just somewhere in the world or a specific region that was picked for whatever reason, it was relevant at the time. I don't know. Well, ever think about that one? There are people that are starving in the world. Okay. So I should eat something I don't like? Or I should eat when I'm full? That's not healthy. If I was full, I might be overeating. If you wanted to help someone, go ahead. You can take that, as if that food was gonna somehow magically be sent to them anyway. Like if you wanted to go ahead and package that up and send it to somebody who's hungry, go ahead. And then it won't be wasted. But I can't do anything about people starving. Me eating this food doesn't make it go to them. And me not eating this food certainly doesn't help them. So, why bother? Why even use that as a defense? That's ridiculous. As if, okay, let's say I don't eat the food, and it gets thrown away. Alright, it's thrown away. And now let's say that, it gets on somehow a crazy, awesome trip where it's, goes in from a garbage truck, and it falls out of there, and it gets stuck onto, I don't know, somebody's fucking, falls on someone's luggage, and they go on a plane, and they travel somewhere, and it gets checked in or whatever, and it falls out of there, it falls out of the bag around someone who is starving in the world, and then they got to eat the food. Chances are pretty goddamn slim of that happening. Fucking next to zero. Very, very close. Pretty much always going to be rounded down to zero for that one happening. But it could happen. Whereas if I eat this food, there is absolutely no way that this food will come to anyone who actually needs it. At least not in an edible state. Perhaps they'll get the poop. That's about it. Maybe if someone ate me. But again, that's not very healthy. So, really, if anything, I'm doing them a favor by not eating it. It's completely backwards. And also, it's just kind of an annoying thing to hear. You ever seen any stand-up comedy where the term is used very loosely and the comedian tends to just sit down the whole time? Isn't that kind of annoying? I mean, I can understand, having a chair there to sit down on occasionally if you get winded or something, you get tired. Take a little breather. But usually it's nice to see him, walking around, kind of being involved with the people in the space, and really being active there. Looking like they give a shit. If you just sit down the whole time, it's like, oh, I have given up. I don't care, I'm just going to say things at you. Things are going to come through my face towards you. I mean, that's bullshit. That's sit-down comedy, and it's just very similar, but just not as respectful to the audience, or, the fucking stage. Got that huge stage? I mean, Jesus, man. Have a cool background, at least, if you're going to be sitting down in there the whole time. Have a bunch of cool shit going on the sides or whatever. Don't just waste a whole bunch of fucking space on the stage. If you're not even going to walk around at all and use it. Jesus. Get a fucking prop, you bastard. Have you ever been really excited for, a new movie or a sitcom or something coming out with someone who was really popular before, really famous for stuff, and they were in some awesome things, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Then you just see the preview, and you see, a line from it, and it's just, oh, No. Whatever. It's just one line, and then it keeps going, and it's just, oh. Well, because you want to like it, but it's just not likable. It's just trying to bank off of that feeling of you should like it. Because you like the other stuff, right? Especially bad when they do one of those with, like, I've been seeing a lot of those crop up with the superstar sitcom things, where it's basically just, hey, let's just bring out these people that used to be in successful sitcoms and put them into, all together into one, not giving a shit about how their chemistry is, and with some pretty subpar writing. Ooh. How'd this make it past one season? That's kind of how I feel about a lot of that shit, you know? Do you ever feel that way? Because I sure as fuck do. I could just be talking to nobody. You ever had one of those moments where you're talking to someone, you know, and you're kind of doing something else at the time as well, so, you know, maybe you have your back turned or something, making food, or, you know, I don't know, folding clothes or some shit. And you're just doing that, and you're in the middle of telling people something, and then about halfway through your sentence you turn around just to, you know, look at them, because you're taking a break from a second from doing whatever the fuck you're doing to acknowledge that that person is still in the room and that you're talking to them, when you realize that they're actually not in the room anymore. You don't know at what point they left, but certainly in the middle of the sentence would have been really rude. And you feel kind of awkward. You're like, oh, guess I wasn't that interesting. I could have said you didn't want to talk to me, or that you were leaving. Clearly I couldn't see through the back of my head. But that's cool. Don't say that out loud, by the way, because they might come back in. And I think that's the worst. Especially when, you know, you're just like, think you're alone and you're doing stuff and like that, and you start just like singing, you know, oh yeah. You're just like, what do you do? It's awkward, like, did they hear me? How long have they been standing there? It's especially bad if they're coming in there, especially if they just go in just to talk to you, and they're just kind of standing there and just staring at you, and you're like, nothing's being said yet. You're just like, oh shit. First few seconds just take, you know, just feel like they're going by so slow, just like, fuck, do they hear me? Fuck. Did I sound weird? Is it stupid? What the oh, Jesus. God damn it. I don't know, it's goofy things like that happen sometimes. You ever wonder, when you tell a joke like that, about something, and you're going out there on a limb, and there's just always that they're thinking, what if nobody else ever had that experience? And I'm the only one that's been really experiencing that. Or, you know, like me and two other people. What the joke is ruined, so the whole point of telling it is gone, and it's just weird. It's like a strange confession, like you're a freak afterwards. Like, that's creepy, you know? Hey, you guys, ever, you know, wake up in the middle of the night and you suck on your toes, and then just as you're falling back asleep, you have to go out and buy a salamander. God, I hate when that happens, right? Anyone? Like, it'd be weird. Really hope the real thing that happened in the first part of the joke was not one of those things. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a point that has to be made very clear involving physical humor. There is nothing funny about being hurt. But there can be quite a lot funny about getting hurt. In fact, that's probably the funniest thing about pain, is how you got it. Like, somebody slipping on a banana peel, fucking hilarious. You know, fucking broken arm afterwards, you know, and that pain, that's not really that funny. But the fact that it happened while on a banana peel, that is a comical way to just get hurt, and that's funny to think about and to picture in your head, and especially to witness. So, I mean, it's not like humor is always bad when it hurts people. I don't know. I like to be a funny guy. I like to think that if I slipped and broke my arm, slipping on a banana peel, that of course I wouldn't really enjoy the pain, but I would think it was funny later. I think if I saw a video of it later, I would probably laugh at myself. I don't see why not. And I also want, I like to be the person that would kind of be able to joke about anything like that. Be like, oh shit. Oh man, I got cancer. Ha ha ha. I'd like it to not affect me. I don't know if it would or not, because, of course, I don't have it. Or at least it hasn't been checked or something. I think there's ways to know if you have it. But still, I don't. So, we're just going to have to assume I don't. Which makes this a lot less funny. Of course, that's also worse because it's usually just like, oh, you just, got it. You just have that now. It's like, oh. If it was like, yeah, a clown came up and accidentally slapped me in the face with this comically big balloon animal hand, be like, and they gave me cancer, and be like, that sucks, man. That's pretty funny how you got cancer. That's all about the context. Obviously, someone's not going to go up on the stage and be like, hey guys, I'm paralyzed. That's not going to get a lot of laughs. Yeah, I fell down an up escalator. That's kind of funny. I think you get where I'm going with this. I should stop digging myself this hole. Hopefully you guys get where I'm coming from. Also, I'm an asshole. Well, I picked up a newspaper the other day. My friend asked me, what does the headline read? I answered him, nothing. If the headline could read, I wouldn't need glasses. Some jokes are just too damn hard to pull off, They're just rough because they really have to work with the sequence of the way things, happen in conversation. Which is why a lot of them are a lot funnier written out. Because then the people can say whatever needs to be said, and it can be worded really carefully, done well, and it works out perfectly because everything was created. But when you're out trying to do a joke on someone for real, it's not always the same thing, You go up to someone, knock knock. What? It doesn't work. You have to be able to just play along with the way things go. Like, what happens when you do something different? And it's like, knock knock, and someone's like, who's there? I don't fucking know. It's shit. I don't know. It's people don't play along. It doesn't really work. And just that's kind of one of the reasons I don't like to rely on some jokes like that. It only really works if it's one thing you have to ask. Knock knock jokes aren't too much of a stretch, but it's only one thing you have to ask. It's and they don't really have time to do that. I don't know. Just I don't know. I don't have a good example of a funny joke for it. I don't know. What's tall and stupid? What? You. That's not a good joke, but I mean, you get the idea. It's a one-line thing, and you say the clever thing first, and they're like, what? And then you reveal to them what the thing is that makes it so funny that you described it in a certain way. Works better if you plan your jokes out beforehand, too. God damn it. I killed a guy once. You ever have, a word or a phrase that you just had this misconception about, and you just kept that misconception for a long time, even though you found out that it was a misconception? I mean, I've done this with a few things. For the longest time, I always thought that, a couple and several meant the same thing. Just, a few, it was some. But that's not true. And I always thought, even a little bit after that, I was like, well, if a couple is 2, then several must mean 7. Not true. So, those things kind of stuck with me for quite a while, I remember. And, I don't know, just weird, misconceptions about stuff like that. Hearing the phrase the other day. I, for some reason, always thought that meant yesterday. And only, in the past, like, year or so, I've been like, that could really just mean any other day. Any day besides this day can be the other day. It could be yesterday, it could be 10 years ago, who knows? It's the other day. As if it makes it sound like there are only 2 days, or it's the only day that was not mentioned in a set of days, or of all days. And it's just ridiculous. It's a crazy phrase, the other day. When was that? Oh, about 5 years ago. I think it's courtesy, at least when you use the phrase the other day, to make it within, maybe within the month, maybe 2 months. I try to keep it pretty close to a month. Otherwise, if you say that, you say last month. If it was more than a month ago. That's how I feel about it. That's just how I feel about it. I think a lot of people do that too, where they just kind of put their own meaning on words, And it's been done with things all the time. That's how you get so many different meanings. Bad used to mean something was bad. And for a while, bad was like, it's good. It's cool. Cool used to mean that it was, temperature. Now that it's cool, it's awesome. Awesome used to be, this is awesome. It was an incredible word, and we fucking ruined it. We try to use it in the same kind of way. It's very watered down now. Very fucking watered down. So, I don't know. I thought I would add that onto this. Just because it made sense to do. Man, I hate it when my fly is down all day. And I don't even know it. Just feel like an asshole. I could have, tried to do something to cheer him up. You ever think about your butt? It's it's very fucking disgusting and horrible. You have your butt and these weird big butt cheeks coming out, and it's... when you got between there, you got an ass crack. There's a crack. And deeper in there is a fucking asshole. It's a fucking crack that leads to a hole, and there's a bunch of nasty shit that comes out of it that just smells awful, and it's just fucking dirty as fuck, and it's unhealthy, and it's... ugh. I don't understand why the fuck it's so funny. Why do people even think that's funny? That's fucking gross shit. The word shit isn't even that bad. The fucking physical feces is fucked. Yeah, I don't know. But somewhere along the line, someone's like, even though it's a fucking crack that goes into a hole that spews out this disgusting shit, maybe I can put my dick in it. Man, when you want it, you're like, I'll put it fucking anywhere, whatever, fucking toaster. Somebody probably tried it. It's I'll put my dick in a toaster. It's probably good. And someone probably found out that it wasn't good when they got it caught or got electrified or burnt. But and that's a pretty good insult that I think everyone should start using too. Put your dick in a toaster. Something like that. Put a dick in a toaster. Whatever kind of spin you want to put on it. Just so you can sound hip. And be like, yeah, I got this from this guy. I just want people to listen to me. It took a little while. But there was eventually a point where I've already hit. Where I was like, I don't give a shit anymore, I used to kind of try to care about, what am I wearing a little bit, or how I look, my in shape. I used to kind of care about those things. Not a lot. I was never a nut about any of those things. I was never real passionate about them. But I used to, kind of give some of a shit because I thought I was supposed to. And I realized it doesn't matter, and I don't fucking give a shit. And it's great. It's great. It's a load off when you don't give a shit. When you don't fucking care about yourself enough to do a lot of those fucking things. It's great. I just eat what the fuck ever. I don't work out. Fucking gonna die soon, probably. But the great thing is that, once all that hate towards yourself is just gone because you don't care, then you're just like, oh, that's great. Now you can move it on to other things, because, you physically, mentally, you still need to fucking, hate something or someone or whatever. So it's like, what? This movie sucks. You just hate fucking movies and music and fucking, you can just fucking, hate everything because it's not great. And stop really enjoying things. Just pick things apart. Just fucking destroy your likes for everything else. And, it's not that bad. I'm telling you. It's fun. It happens. If it happens to you guys, I really hope that you know where I'm coming from, because it's great. And it sounds terrible, but it is pretty good. I mean, it's easier than giving a shit also. So there's that. I might also just be lazy, but I mean, if we're gonna split hairs, well, if we're gonna split, well, I'm too lazy to fucking connect that to anything. See, this is great because I don't even fucking care. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but especially with a lot of stuff, like watching stuff online is pretty easy. You can start and stop it whenever you want, and it's really simple. You don't have to deal with a lot of the commercials or ads or anything. These aren't as big of a deal. But I always find myself in this predicament when I'm watching something on TV, and even if it's something I'm not particularly interested in, something I just end up committing myself to watching, it's like, okay, I'll watch this. And then I want to do something as well. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to do this thing, but the show's on, and I've been watching. I don't want to just stop watching now. I already committed the time to it. So I'll just kind of keep watching, and I'll think, okay, I'll do it during the commercial break. And then I kind of wait, something as simple as going to the bathroom. But if you wait long enough, and it'll be watching the show, kind of getting into the show and stuff, and part of it. And then all of a sudden it's halfway through the commercial break, and it's like, oh shit, I didn't do what I was going to do. I don't know if I have enough time to go do that quick now, and then come back. I'll miss a bunch of stuff. Even if I've seen the episode before, it's like, I don't want to miss stuff. So I don't know, it gets stuck like that, I'm like, do I want to go and try to do that really fast? Can I pee that fast? Or do I want to wait through the next section, and can I get through the next section of the show without this really disturbing me and ruining the experience? It's just a thing to think about. I know you ever have that? It's not even the commercials are particularly interesting, but you just get so lulled into it, into the zombified state that TV makes you. You're just like, yeah, and there's that thing, and oh shit, I didn't do that. It's commercials. Fuck. I don't know. One time, someone asked me if I knew how to play piano. Said, no, not at all. Said, really? Can you even spell it? I said, sure. Matter of fact, I remember one time when I peed my pants, somebody asked me, is that pee? And I said, I don't know. You gotta piece it together in your head a bit, but I kinda, it says, I spelled it. I don't think I really proved that I was intelligent with that joke, did I? He didn't get it either. But the point is, it made sense in my head. If you saw it, the P was like urine, but it's the letter P as well. And you see, saying I don't know, I hyphen A hyphen N-O, I don't know, spells piano. And it sounds like I'm saying I don't know in a weird way. I don't know. I had a better story for it before, but I forgot. And, yeah. Gee, I hope this didn't make it in.
What's Satan's favorite food? Deviled eggs.
Should I have said devil's food? Fuck. If today is tomorrow, and yesterday is today, and tomorrow is yesterday, then hey, Man, people are assholes. They ruin everything. I mean, there are plenty of things that are good in theory until someone comes along and wrecks it. It's not the thing's fault, it's people. People are the problem. Here's an example. Say there's a sign somewhere that says, if you can read this, you don't suck. That's a win-win situation. I mean, if you can read that sign, guess what? You don't suck. That makes you feel good, because you don't suck. But then, if somebody can't read the sign, they don't know that they suck. There's no reason for them to even think that they suck. It doesn't bother them at all, because guess what? They cannot read that sign. Nobody gets hurt. It seems like a win-win situation, or at least a one-win anyway. And the problem is that someone's going to come along and be like, hey, can you read what that sign says? And they'll say no. And then they'll tell them what it says. And as soon as somebody tells you what it says, guess what? It's going to ruin the fucking day. It's going to ruin your day if you hear that and you can't read that sign. You're going to be great. Now I know that I suck. People. Always ruining everything. Assholes. You hear a lot of sayings start with, a wise man once said. But there had to be at least one guy who was pretty wise and didn't say a goddamn thing. I mean, that seems like a dick move, doesn't it? And, well, what do you call a wise man that, never said anything? Just kept all of his wisdom to himself? Selfishly? That's what I like to call a wise ass. You ever have someone tell you something, and then you don't really register right away what they said? So you ask what? So they repeat it. And then, partway through what they're saying, it finally clicks. It registers in your head what they've just told you. And then you're faced with this decision. Do I interrupt them, even though I already asked them what? And feel like an ass for interrupting them and for making them say it again when I already actually understood everything that they said? Or do I just politely wait it out while I think about other things while they're talking and kind of ignoring them the whole time? So sometimes, I try to avoid that, and I'll have someone say something to me, and instead of saying what, because I think it'll register, I'll just let it sit for a few seconds. And then they'll go on to saying something else, or they'll leave. Then I'll realize, oh shit, I actually didn't hear them. Then what do? You try to come back and be like, sorry, a minute ago when you said that thing in front of my face, I totally spaced out, I didn't hear any of it. Could you say it again? You sound like a fucking asshole and a moron at the same time. And if you don't listen to them, then sometime later, if it comes back up again, if it was some kind of thing they were telling you that I guess they expected you to think about or something, and you don't know what the hell to say, it's like, what do you think about that? I told you that. What? You never told me that. I never heard that anyway. That was never registered in my brain as a thing that I knew. It's awkward. Don't you just hate situations? Oh, situations. 'Cause everyone has them. Everyone. It's comedy. That's why I said it. And, I wrote a joke once, and I lost it. And after that, I just got burned, so I was like, never again. And that's why this happened. That's why I am so good. Have you ever opened a box of something on the wrong end? Accidentally open it, from the bottom or something, and then you're seriously debating what to do with it after that? What do you do? Do you just keep putting it back in upside down? It won't really seal that well if you do it that way. Should you try to put it in right side up and then just try to hold the bottom when you flip it over to open it up and use it still? Do you tape up the bottom and open up the top? But that's a lot of extra work just for a box, isn't it? If there's a bag inside the box with stuff in it, do you take the bag of stuff out and throw the box away? But then it looks weird. It doesn't really stack up as well in there. And wherever you're storing it, I don't know. It seems like a hassle, and you feel like such an idiot, because all you had to do was really, look at the box and think for about 1, 2 seconds max, and then you could open it in the proper way. You wouldn't have any of these problems. Now you got a bunch of extra stress that you don't need that. You got plenty of other things to worry about. But no, this is the thing that's fucking keeping you up at night. It's really eating up a lot of your time. It's just you want to be able to wake up in the morning, you gotta have a good room set up. Okay, so here's what you gotta have, okay? You're gonna want to have your bed on one wall. Okay, this is a 4-sided room we're planning out here. So, on the one side, you're gonna have your bed. On the opposite side, you gotta have your alarm clock. So that when you wake up, you have to walk over and turn off your alarm clock. Then on the other 2 walls, you gotta have the dresser on one, so you have to walk over to the dresser in order to get yourself dressed, and the door on the opposite one from that one, so you have to walk all the way out the door in order to, take a piss or whatever. And really, I think your light should have a chain hanging from it, like a chain switch, to turn it on and off in the middle of the room, so that you can't just stay in any one part of the room for too long. You gotta keep yourself moving, you gotta be active. So you gotta get up, you gotta hit the alarm, you gotta turn that on, or turn it on, and then hit the alarm, and then you gotta go get dressed, you gotta go out there and go in the bathroom. All that. I just thought of this. I thought it was kind of funny. It's actually more smart. Fuck, it's genius. I shouldn't have told you. Everybody ignore that, because I'm going to have to sell this to some kind of company, somehow, some way, someday, with my money, to get more money. Because the stand-up thing isn't going, it's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Fuck. Alright, everybody, I think we need to get something straight here. Okay, I'm the fucking comedian, okay? I'm gonna stand up here and tell jokes, okay? It might not sound like it, you might not like them or get them, but guess what? The reason you came in here was to laugh, so I'm gonna tell jokes, you're gonna laugh. If they're really good, you can applaud. And, because that's what my job is. I don't just sit here and talk to people. I get laughs, okay? I get paid to get laughs, and you paid money to come in here and laugh at me. God damn it, you're gonna do it whether you want to or not, because that's what you paid for. Okay, it's a little thing called the stand-up comedy, and you know what, you have to get that through your thick fucking skulls that this, you see, you gotta cooperate. You didn't come in, this is a job. You didn't come in here to relax. You didn't come in here to be entertained. You came in here to participate, because that's all you fucking do anymore, is participate, isn't it? You couldn't make it as a comedian yourself. You fucking suck. That's why I'm up here. That's why you came to listen to my ass. So everybody just start lightening the fuck up. You can laugh. I don't care if you're mad or sad or if you're genuinely interested. I don't give a shit anymore, because you ruined it. You wrecked it. You don't get to choose anymore. You're gonna laugh at me because that's your fucking job. Seems like today all we care about is how many people died, a body count, a dead body count. I mean, it's not like anybody ever stops and says, oh, this many people lived. I mean, it's not even about a percentage. I'm not even trying to downplay the people dying. I'm just saying, why don't we ever fucking say how many people lived? Oh, this person miraculously got away with some shit, from some shit, I should say. And sometimes they'll tell those stories, but usually it's only one person. How about, 5 people died, but guess what? There were 50 people there. The rest of them got away. So why don't we ever say that number? Why don't we ever say, talk to all of them, or at least bring up how many, didn't die. I think that's kind of worth counting too, don't you? God, this joke thing went really far though. You guys, you don't have to laugh at that one, I guess. That's a little morbid. Why did they say this in the comedy act? I think I'm getting screwed had. Alright, time for some personal stories about me, since people like that kind of bullshit. One time I was nuking a hot dog. I was putting it in the microwave, for those of you who don't know the terminology. And I just because I didn't want the bun to get all, you microwave a bun, it gets kind of spongy and soggy. If you do it too long, it's almost uneatable. But still kind of eatable. But anyway, I don't want to fuck with that shit. So what I did was put the hot dog in on a plate by itself. Nuke that. And then I'd stick it out, and as I was taking it out, I was saying to myself, zesty. And at the same time, as I was pulling the plate out, the hot dog started to move, and it shifted, it rolled, started rolling, and it pushed the weight of the plate down, so I tilted down, and it rolled off of the plate, and fell onto the floor, and as it did that, since I was in the middle of it, I ended up saying, fuck! As the hot dog just rolled all over the floor, and I picked it up, I still ate it, but I was kind of pissed. It's sort of funny. And another one is, if you guys played video games or anything, but I was playing a game, and basically this character was beating me. The character's name was Lucas. If you know Super Smash Bros. Brawl, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I was playing this game, and I was fighting him, and I was getting beaten in this fighting game, and I was just got so mad for some reason, and I seriously got to this point where I said, "Fuck you, Lucas, cut your fucking balls off." Just so determined. And there was one of those moments where I don't know if you've had one of those where you do something that's so ridiculous, you're so mad over something that really doesn't matter, and you're just so overly mad. But then you stop right after because you just realize how ridiculous it was. And I just started laughing at myself. I thought it was hilarious. I'm sure anyone, if they were there, they would have thought it was pretty funny too, but... Well, those are my personal accounts that I wanted to say, I guess, because they were kind of funny. I'm sure I have plenty of funny shit about me. Like, this one time when I was not sure how it occurred. I know I was constipated at the time. That's not really the funny part, but if you think that's funny, go ahead and laugh at my constipation. Because it has to do with poop. Or laugh it off. And it was, I don't know if it was related to that or not, but it was, I had a pain in my butt. And like I couldn't sit down, and this is in high school, so I go to the class, and after going all my classes, and my teacher's asking me to sit down, and I have to tell them I can't, and like my eyes aren't great, so I'm sitting in the front of the class, and here I am standing up, super obviously in the front of the class, and having my teachers ask, it's like why aren't you sitting down? It's like I can't. Why not? And, I maybe shouldn't have said it, but I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. I told them I have a literal pain in my ass. And they let me stand. But, that was fun to do in front of the entire class, standing up there in the front. Every period. Ooh. So I hope you got some jollies out of my stuff. And ponies. What the fuck? Fuck ponies. Come on. Just be a real horse already. Alright, so let's turn another asshole into Facebook like it doesn't have enough already, but come on. Like, people sharing pictures and stuff, it's okay if, like they made the picture, or, they're sharing videos if they made the video, but a lot of them are just, if they're just actually pretty interesting. But a lot of people just put up these weird memes and stupid images with some kind of fucking saying on it that, barely anybody but themselves cares about at the time, maybe one or two other people, and it's stuff that they're gonna, forget in a few days, maybe a week tops. It's not going to stick with them. It just makes sense to them now. They don't give a shit about it. They're not going to remember it and be like, oh yeah, that thing, that was really cool. No, they're just going to forget about it and find some other quote that's kind of vaguely similar and just go with that for the time being. And it's a bunch of stupid bullshit, dumb pictures, stupid jokes, shit that you could probably tell someone, you could show someone, but you don't need to be sharing with all of Facebook. It's not like I'm going to be that big of a dick about it, but it's a little bit annoying to see it just plastered with photos of stupid shit that doesn't have anything to do with anything. And while we're on the subject of fuck, we have this other stuff on here with the games. Oh my god, the games. Everybody knows that those are annoying, right? Games are annoying as balls. And the only reason that they are, besides actually playing them, is that the invites, They are vicious. They will just send invites. They'll plaster fucking things all over the news feed on your Facebook, so you have to go look at that shit and be like, wow, I really needed to know that they need a fucking milking bucket for their cow. I needed to know that on my fucking news feed. That's really top fucking news. Or, you know, send you fucking direct requests for shit. And of course, they don't care. They're just sending it to everyone on their friends list. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. Okay, so then you're just sitting here, oh, well, I guess I just have to keep ignoring this thing. You get so fucking fed up with it, and you hate them. And, you know, what happens, you know, is that a lot of those kind of go under, or they get boring, so the people would switch to another game, and they send you a request for that one. So even if you block the request for one game, they're still sending you a request for another game. So you pretty much have to block that person. It gets to the point where you just want to fucking block that person entirely and not even have them on their friends list, because they're not being a friend to you right now, sending you a bunch of the stupid bullshit that's just annoying the fuck out of you. And I mean, yeah, I'll play some games on there, but I only send requests to people who I know are playing it, or I think might actually enjoy playing it with me. If I don't think they'll like it, I'm not going to put it on the newsfeed, and I'm not going to share it with people who I, you know, obviously don't have the game, or I'm pretty fucking sure don't even want it. So, I'm not going to annoy people with that. And yeah, I post stuff. But usually when I post things, it's a picture that I did, or a video that I did, and I'm promoting my YouTube channel or something. I'm not just putting up fucking random sayings and shit on there. Okay? I might send that link to my friends if I want them to see it, but I'm not going to post it for everybody on Facebook to see on there. Okay? That's just dumb. That's stupid. Fuck that. And I don't know. I'm getting a little sick of some of this bullshit. Not that I really mind that much. But when it keeps happening and happening and happening, you gotta wonder, you know, do these people even give a shit anymore? Do they give enough of a shit about anything if they're just gonna throw up everything they find? Because it's constant. It's constant. It's constant. Oh, fuck. Guess I just needed to get a little bit of that out. I'm sure all of you can kind of relate. And of course, I could take the easy way out and also mention, oh, well, Facebook is always changing every fucking, few weeks or so. I guess it's a few months maybe. They change a lot in different parts of them, but they're trying to get better. I can't blame them. It's a free site anyway, so I can't be too picky. Same thing with YouTube. They're changing a lot, but again, it's free. I'm using it. It still works fine. You just have to find out where the stuff moves. And if you have any skills at finding things, if you know how to use a fucking website, you can probably figure it out. So yeah, this is shit I wanted to shit on about face shit. So, most people have this thing where they don't realize how much that they dislike doing something, and, or how much it affects them or something, I guess, until something bad happens. And I guess I had a not so crazy experience, comparatively to most people, I'm sure, with drinking. Stopped drinking a while ago, and only been doing it for about a month. And basically all it was a night where I ended up drinking too much. I puked in my trash can, and I slept on the floor. And after that I realized I don't really like drinking that much. I mean, I might puke from it, the stuff tastes gross, it makes me all weird and numb and makes me act like a goofy idiot, which anyone listening to this entire thing or that knows me, I'm pretty fucking goofy idiot to start with. So all that stuff, I ended up quitting really fast, so I'm pretty sure I'm not an alcoholic. But it was kind of awkward sneaking into the bathroom in my dorm and trying to clean out my trash can in the middle of the night, because I didn't want anybody to see me hauling in there, ask me what I'm doing. Oh, I'm just gonna give my trash can buddy a shower. His name is Candice. It's a girl. I gotta go. And yeah. Because some people think I was fucking trash can, and that's a whole nother story that isn't true. Of course, it's not true. Why would I look over there? Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the fucking show, and I'm going home. Bunch of assholes. I don't want any fucking water.
Alright, there it was. That was the video. Audio, whatever you wanna. It's barely a video, but that was the Sam Lilly Comedy Hour 2. Maybe you can see why I kinda got rid of it. I'm not real proud of it. It's not real amazing, but it's an interesting piece of the whole history of what's the deal with Sam, and that, the first comedy hour was spun off into what's the deal with Sam, and then I went into the second comedy hour, and that really, I don't think, did a whole lot for what's the deal with Sam. And I kind of just took it away because I didn't like it, and it just kind of felt weird and out of place. I was like, whatever, nobody cares, and I'm just bringing it back as that missing piece of history, so we don't totally lose it, and so I can say I did something special for 500 episodes, because I obviously don't have any good ideas for things. Otherwise, I'd be making them into regular episodes more regularly, and I guess you could say that. What's the deal with Sam is a regular in that sense. It's just whenever I get ideas, and whenever I record those ideas, and then whenever I finally decide to edit and upload the fucking things. It's a mess of an operation, and I guess that's just how genius works. That's how genius happens. Whatever. So I'm not gonna pretend like we're gonna make it to 500 more, but we might do another 100. We'll see what happens. We'll see how far it goes before either I get sick of it or I die. That's probably more likely. Or something happens to YouTube. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen. If people just aren't watching anymore, it's very possible I'll just stop. I don't know. Who can say? Really, who truly knows the future? Not I. But yeah, I expect more episodes anyways. There's probably going to be some more, because they just kind of come up whenever. If you have ideas, send them in. If you've been watching, thanks for watching, because it's cool when people watch. And I've said this before, but out of all the stuff I put up, it seems like What's the Deal with Sam is one of the few things that I still am getting some active interest in. It's getting views, not amazing views, but usually it's getting some comments on there. People being like, that's neat, that's funny, that's interesting, whatever. They're kind of trying to engage in the conversation. Even if they're just yelling at me, at least it's something that gets people engaged on some level. And that's nice. That's nice to see, especially when a lot of my other stuff is not getting much attention. Maybe the other stuff is getting more views. Maybe other stuff is maybe I'm more proud of some of the other stuff, depending on what it is. But What's the Deal with Sam is kind of fun to do. It's kind of neat, and it's just it's a cool thing to have people still invested in interacting, and that's cool. So thank you, and put stuff in the comments if you want. That's always a thing you can do. And I don't know. Hope you liked the video, and hope you continue to like the show. I hope you like the shirts that make the show iconic, and with the ground jokes. And hopefully all of these things make up for my lack of talent, because, why else would you watch if not for all of the iconic things? And Yeah, I'll see you all in episode 501.
What's the deal with Sam? What's the deal with Sam? What's the deal with Sam? What's the deal with Sam?